Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your CEVO Season 6 LAN Finals. I'm Misled, joined with Dust over here, and we're about to get this underway. We're very close here, getting into these map picks and bans, but I'm excited for this. Day 2 of the event. We're getting into our upper bracket finals right now. I'm absolutely pumped for this. The underdogs, Nihilum, are going against arguably our favorites going into this LAN Finals.
Yeah, definitely. The way CLG played yesterday was phenomenal. I mean, there's always been talk about this team struggling to be consistent, while their player Cutler may be very consistent. Some of their other big star players like Peter and Tarek sometimes have had some off-match in tournaments that they've won big against really big teams like at X Games Aspen, like at Katowice, but then lost to some teams that you would think they should be able to beat, considering they beat those great teams.
Yeah.
So it's a team that has been very 50-50. Great wins, but then also some losses that kind of make you scratch your head. But yesterday they played absolutely fantastic. Tarek was a really big player in both maps. Just had a great series. And you know, Peter had a big map on Dust too, and of course that consistent Cutler player, and then Hayes playing really well. So everyone seemed to be firing all cylinders yesterday. Will that continue? Because that has been their problem. Not the initial good play, but keeping it running through an entire event. And so that's what we're going to have to see today.
And I mean, that was an absolute nail-biter that we got to watch yesterday with Elevate going into those overtime rounds. That was looking very tough. I was convinced when we got to that 15-15 that we were going to see map number 3. I thought it was going to happen. I thought Elevate was going to force the issue there, but they just barely squeaked it out in an extremely exciting fashion. I believe it was Tarek that shut that down at the end, right? Wasn't it a 3K from him to close that out and make it happen?
Him and Hayes had some really big clutch plays in overtime for sure. That kind of sealed the deal there. Definitely struggled on CT side, though, was CLG. So be on the lookout for that. The CT side used to be their bread and butter. You know, CT side nuke was how they've crushed a lot of different teams in the past. Even on Dust 2, when they had their big wins against teams like Envious and Titan, it was because they had really strong CT sides, winning 9 or 10 rounds and just having to win just a few on the T side. But yesterday they really struggled on CT side. I think they only got 3 rounds on CT side last time, and they had to come and play back from T side. So their T sides have certainly improved, but they're at the cost of maybe losing some CT power. But hopefully they can find a happy balance there. But let's take a look at this matchup here. We got Peter going against Sanksington. What are your thoughts here, man?
Sanks was one of those players that we thought was going to come in here, and he was going to have to put on a show for us. And I mean, Peter shows up, brings the op out, shoots well. As you can tell from the efficacy there, he's rocking that 10.84. On the other side, Sanks a little bit underwhelming so far, but I mean the step up from Professor Chaos was absolutely amazing. He came on very strong, and I think that's a little bit of the reason why Sanks doesn't have the efficacy that we should expect from him coming into the event.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were talking about Nihilum and where they were going to be able to perform on LAN. Obviously online they've been great, and I have to say that the 3 players we were most concerned about in that situation when it comes to the players they rely on to frag are players like Professor Chaos, are players like Sanksington, also players like, you know, Automatic, who at times has struggled on LAN. All 3 of those players were awesome yesterday in their series against Luminosity, just absolutely dominating both maps, winning 9 rounds from T side on both maps, D2 and Cash. And I think D2 is a very likely map we'll see in this series. I think Cash is also a likely map in this series. And I think that from what we saw out of like Sanks with those entry fragging with Automatic and Professor Chaos with the op looked really, really good there. And of course we were looking at Peter. I mean, D2 is the map that his op can be big for them. Like I said, beating Envious at Aspen really off the back of his op. And that's something that they're going to have to hope that they get here. And I think that based on how he played yesterday, they should be able to get that out of him. But we're going to start the map vetoes here pretty soon, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see how this goes because both these teams have similar map pools they like to play. So I feel like we're going to see probably D2 and Cash again, maybe, I think. We'll have to just see how it plays out. We'll talk about that more in a second, but we do have another player matchup to look at. What do we got here, Misled?
This is definitely going to be interesting. We're going to be rocking that Tarek and Flosick. Both of these players extremely good. We know Tarek is that guy that can step up and frag extremely hard for your team, and Flosick is the other guy on that side of the team also that can do that. They can come out and play very, very well. One thing to look at here between the 2 players, of course, Tarek has that higher efficacy. He absolutely went nuts yesterday, but look at the difference between the ADR. Not much. Flosick may not have been completing the frags, but he was definitely putting in a ton of damage to allow his teammates to end up to secure those frags in the long run, which helped them out.
Yeah, I mean, Tarek is the guy that has that reputation for being one of the heaviest aimers in the North American scene, has a big reputation for that, has had some big reasons why. I mean, when they were finally starting to get some hype around them at the end of last year when they were qualifying for Aspen, they were knocking off, you know, some of the best North American teams like iBuyPower and Torque to get to that Aspen event, and at you know, some of the maps that he's played even against big European teams like at the Katowice qualifiers against Titan and Gamers 2. I mean, he just played really well, but he's also had some moments where he's kind of fallen off, like against, you know, Liquid Liquid at Aspen or different things like that. So it's about consistency with him. At the truest point, he really can be a huge player, but he can also fall off. So they need him today. He's one of their big riflers, probably one of their highest damage players that they have. When you look over at Flowsick, I mean, that is going to be Nihilum's, lurker. He is that guy that's trying to backstab, trying to cut off rotations, and he does play an important role, and he's probably one of the most experienced players on this team, even being used as a mercenary sometimes by Cloud9 and stuff like that, just because of his reputation of being a pretty solid, smart player. And so we'll see what he can do today. I mean, both these teams feature lineups that have a lot of skilled players, especially since Nihilum kind of proved themselves yesterday on LAN, too, so that makes them even a bit more scary. So this actually should be a pretty cool best of 3.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I mean, both of these teams took their games yesterday in 2 maps right off the bat. I mean, we did get to see overtime with the CLG game, but, I mean, after that, going into the Luminosity game, that was a really big shocker, especially for me. I figured the LAN inexperience that we're going to get from Nihilum was going to show through right there, and Luminosity, with their vast wealth of experience that they have on LAN, I mean, we see them recently all the time going to stuff. Most recently, what was that, Fragadelphia that they were at over there, playing against the Flying V. I figured that was going to hold true for them and be able to bring them home. But, I mean, Nihilum just showed up and shocked them. So we got to look forward to seeing Luminosity come back, and let's see if Nihilum can possibly pull it up and shock CLG.
Yeah, so at CLG's first up to ban, they should probably ban DECs in here right off the bat. It's a map that Nihilum has beat them on head-to-head and online play. They always ban it. So there's the ban there. I presume Nihilum will probably be a ban on Overpass. They don't play it very much. Meanwhile, CLG actually has a pretty good online record on Overpass.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I want to see what they're going to go with here. I really don't want to see another Cash D2 day again.
It's going to happen, I think.
It's exciting to watch, but I mean, I want to see a switch up here.
You could see this. If Nihilum bans Overpass, there's 1 or 2 options here. Either CLG is going to pick D2 or they're going to pick Mirage. It's one or the other. So there's the Overpass ban. It's either going to be a Mirage pick or a Dust 2 pick, in my opinion. Or they could pick Cash. But I think if they pick D2 or Mirage, then Nihilum should either pick Cash or Inferno. The thing is, though, CLG's really good at Cash, but I know Nihilum feels that's their best map as well. They feel so comfortable on it. But I think that Inferno is maybe the key. It's a map that CLG has some weakness on in comparison to the rest of their pool. It's a map Nihilum has beat them on before in online play very recently. And so I think that could be the ticket there. But we'll have to see. Does CLG want to play D2 or do they want to play Mirage or Cash? That all 3 of them are very powerful maps for them. I don't know which one of the 3 they'll pick. I would bet maybe Mirage, just to catch Nihilum completely off guard. I don't think Nihilum plays Mirage very much, so that would be a cool off pick. But D2 and Cash are also very likely picks here, I think.
Yeah, I feel like D2 is probably going to come out here on the CLG side of things. Nihilum, again, I would feel like it would be an Inferno. That would be my guess onto it, but I don't know for sure. I don't think they really want to give CLG that advantage of getting their side choice into it. Because remember, guys, whichever team picks the map, the other team gets their side choice on it. And then if we do happen to go to a third map,
Cash.
They go Cash. So.
If I'm Nihilum, I pick Inferno here, or maybe Dust 2. I think Nihilum's off guard. That's the map that they would like to pick, but they know CLG's also very good at it. I think Nihilum's happy that they picked it, though, because now they'll get side choice on that. Yeah, I'm thinking either a D2 pick here from Nihilum or possibly Inferno. I would pick Inferno if I were them. That's the map they've had some success on against CLG, and a map that CLG has shown some weakness on. Though I have been told they've been practicing that map a lot because they kind of realized this weakness and wanted to kind of patch that up, especially since they had 2 big lands this week, us and, of course, ESEA land in a few days. So they had 2 big events they had to prepare for, and they really put some prep into their weak maps like Inferno.
I mean, we could see just an absolute shock fest here. Maybe they're just going to drop that nuke out of left field.
No way.
Let CLG
is very, very good on nuke CT side. That comeback against Hellraisers last at Katowice, also just how they've been playing on Faceit against powerful NA teams on nuke like Cloud9 and Elevate. And that's a good point to bring up, Nuke, though. What if that's map 3? That bodes so well for CLG.
That's a knife for sides on that point,
It doesn't even matter, I think. CLG CT side is so strong. Look at the comeback they made against Hellraisers after losing, 13 or 14 rounds on their T side first half. They still have that composition of players that can perform on the CT side, even in comeback scenarios. So yeah, Nuke is actually a scary map 3 randomized pick, actually. But I'm just curious to see what Nihilum goes for here. Inferno or Dust 2 is the likely calls. I think Nihilum has to steal Cash from CLG, though, to win this series. They pick Inferno and Dust 2's the randomized. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting randomized map because it doesn't matter on knife side. You might as well just give up, throw the round, just get directly into the game because it doesn't matter which side you get at that point. But Inferno, that's what I thought they were going to pick. They go for it there, giving CLG that CT side advantage right off the bat. from what I've seen with them, they're pretty strong on that map, though. They played it well, and as you talked about CLG on that map, it could bode well for them if they can get into that. But Cash is going to be tough for them to take down from CLG.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting series. I mean, it just so happens that, like I said, both these teams have a pretty similar map pool. They both like to play Cash. They both like to play Dust 2. And they're going to definitely get Cash here at map 1 because of CLG's pick. But and it's also important to note a cool stat for CLG, by the way, is everyone knows they suffered this huge loss to Liquid at Aspen on Cash. They just got blasted. They couldn't do anything on T side. They wound up getting wiped like 16-3, and that's what eliminated them from the tournament after beating, what was LDLC, now Envious. And so that was like this crazy statement. But since that moment, so that's in January, so for the last 3 months, they've played Cash another 6 times, and they've won it every single time. This includes beating teams like C9. This includes beating teams like Elevate, and even on LAN yesterday, they improved that record to 7-0 now on Cash, beating Elevate on the map. So they're a very strong Cash team, but I know Nihilum feels very comfy on it. We saw how well they played against Luminosity yesterday. So I think Cash is going to be kind of an interesting map to watch. I think that it's kind of anyone goes on that one. I do kind of favor Nihilum on Inferno, and then Dust 2 once again kind of seems tossed up to me. So this will be a cool best of 3, I think.
Yeah, this should be really exciting. Honestly, prediction-wise for myself, I think CLG is probably going to squeak out that Cash victory. And then Inferno, I feel like Nihilum can take that from them.
Yeah, I do too.
I really think we'll actually get 3 maps out of one of these games today, if not 3 maps out of the second one too, because, I mean, going into an Elevate and Luminosity matchup, that is going to be exciting also. But, man, Inferno with Nihilum, even though CLG will definitely get CT side, in no way, shape, or form could I ever imagine them not picking CT side on second map.
You know what's funny, though? Both these teams are kind of T-side teams, in my opinion. You look at CLG's matches yesterday, and both their maps against Elevate, it was based off of, well, in the first map, a crazy start on T-side, winning a big, I think they won 12 rounds on T-side in the first half against Elevate yesterday on Cash, and then the second map, it was a crazy comeback from T-side on Dust 2 to get it into overtime. They really were struggling their CT side. And you look at Nihilum, both their match yesterday against Luminosity between Cash and Dust 2 were based off of them winning 9 rounds in the first half from T-side. They didn't really have to even play much CT side. And I think that's going to be the biggest key here in this match for CLG to ensure that they close out a set that they are favored for, is stepping up that CT side. Their T sides have been pretty on point so far this event. Historically not so, but so far this event, yes. But their CT sides have slacked off a bit, I feel like. And so I think that Nihilum is a dangerous enough team based on how they proved themselves yesterday to where they need to make sure their CT side's on point against what Nihilum's been able to do so far on their terrorist sides. Yeah,
it's definitely been the story of the LAN so far that teams have been struggling on their CT sides. Everyone's been playing really well as terrorists. I mean, they've been doing great on it, and it's just like that overtime. It came down to who can actually get 2 rounds on CT side on Dust 2 to be able to make it happen. And it was a struggle all the way through until finally CLG was just barely able to close that out on Elevate. So I think it's going to hold true again. Who's going to be able to get just those 4 to 5 rounds that they can try and grab as CTs to give themselves that chance on terrorist side to collect the majority of the rounds again.
And I mean, the crazy thing is the 2 maps we're for sure going to see are both generally CT-sided maps. And Inferno, especially so, usually a map that you're seeing, those 10-plus rounds from CT side on normal occasions. Whereas Cash, I would say 10-5 pretty normal as well from CT side, but I would say it's a bit more of like a 9-6 map or maybe even in some cases 8-7 map. There's a lot of potential for terrorists to get rounds on that map, in my opinion, especially from what we saw yesterday. So, like I said, I just think that it really has to come down to who's going to have the better CT sides, especially on a map like Inferno where you really should be having good CT side. If CLG does happen to struggle there, that's really, really big. And another thing to talk about with CLG is a lot of people have criticized them about their communication and leadership. Listening to the POV streams from Katowice, they seemed a bit lost and not on the same page. Yesterday, they looked much improved, which is why their T-sides look much better, I think, as far as working together, being on the same page, taking appropriate peaks based on timings from, flashes from their teammates and stuff like that. They look sharper. They just seemed a little bit more crisp, and so we'll see if that carries over from yesterday as well. But we're looking at Automatic here. What do we got?
Right now with Automatic, these are his Season 6 stats. This is based off his whole season going into it thus far. But, I mean, really the big thing is over the entire season, he stayed positive. His kill death is positive. That's great. His ADR over the entire season remained an 81. That's not amazing. Some matches will see him over 100 in the high 90s. But for an entire season, that's pretty good. And the stat that I like about Automatic the most is the clutches over the season. 155 with 73 Ks through the season. That's impressive work from him, being able to close out rounds, being able to shut down when they need to, and get that round win for his team.
Yeah, I mean, Automatic, one of the entry fraggers for that team, him and Sankington are going to be the two key guys to try to open up bomb sites for that team, along with Professor Chaos's op. And, a lot of people were wondering, of course, Chaos and Sanks being kind of new players, wondering if they're going to prove themselves on LAN. With Automatic, he's LAN before, but he's never had as big a performance at the LAN level as he has online. But so far this event, he's done quite well. And like I said, they're definitely going to kind of rely on him to be a guy to open up sites. Yeah, like I said, both these teams, strong T-side teams. I'm waiting to see who's going to improve their CT side. For Nihilum, it's not like they did bad. They didn't have to really play much CT side.
Yeah.
Whereas with CLG, they just, especially in that second match, D2, they really struggled when they usually don't. And now we're looking at Cutler here, the most consistent player on that team for sure. I mentioned it yesterday. Apparently they mentioned themselves there with Puckett. One of those entry fraggers, also just a great CT rotator. And you can take a look at his stats here just to kind of highlight that a bit.
Yeah, we talked about it. You talked about it, especially consistency is Cutler's game. He does it so very well. The guy he may not always be the top fragger, but he's always in there, and he always does everything that he can to help his team move forward. And he's consistent. That's the biggest thing. He needs to just change his name from Cutler to consistency, because he's absolutely nuts when it comes to that. The clutch kills there, 6, not reflecting all the games. Well, it is from Season 6. He was out for quite a bit of it, I believe is what happened there. But, I mean, the player is so good. ADR, relatively high, again, from the matches that he did play. Kill death, positive again, and his efficacy is relatively high. He does extremely good in matches and keeps that consistent base. Even if Tarek isn't showing up, maybe if Peter isn't opping as well, Cutler is always there, getting frags, getting himself into those 20 range every single round, and he keeps them alive. When anybody else starts to slack, he's there doing that baseline.
Yeah, like I said, the most consistent player on that team. Players like Tarek has the biggest potential on that team to have a huge impact with that heavy aim, that rifle. And then, of course, Peter's op has been big for them in the past on some of their biggest games that they've won against some of the top European teams. So those two guys are definitely like the guys you expect to top frag or be pretty close. But Cutler is always that guy. It's always going to be your second or third place player. Always going to be very consistent. Whereas players like Tarek may kind of fall off like he has in the past, or maybe Peter has an off game like he's had in the past. But it almost seems like you can always count on Cutler to be right in the middle of the pack. And Hayes, also the other entry fragger next to Cutler, he had a good day yesterday as well. I mean, let's face it, pretty much everybody that you expect to be fragging for this team fragged well for this team. Obviously, Finesse the end-game leader. You always give the IGL some slack on their KD, but Hayes, you're looking like this. Just was played really well yesterday as well. Yeah,
one of the things with Hayes is, again, it's one of those players that will kind of show up sometimes and have just insane matches. And then yesterday, he came in and got big rounds for them. Relatively quiet throughout the game until he, boom, 4K, even had the TK mixed in there. So he's just mowing down everybody in his face. But he still had big rounds, getting 3Ks, 4Ks when he needs to, and makes it happen for his team. So another player that if he steps up really big, he's going to be somebody to watch. I mean, you get Cutler going, you get Tarek going, you get Hayes together. That's a trio right there that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these guys, you look at the big three riflers for this team, which are going to be Cutler, Tarek, and Hayes. Both those players were able to drop, 20 bombs within regulation of the first map against Elevate, and then in overtime, all those guys were fragging like in the mid-30s, and Tarek was actually able to drop a 40 bomb in that overtime. So all their riflers, the guys that they need to be contributing in those rifle roles, whether it be Cutler and Hayes in those entry fragging positions, or Tarek, who's kind of more of just a drifter, kind of a support player, the clutcher, the guy that kind of rely on late rounds. All of those were firing up pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
And then Peter had a really big map on D2. Kind of some deja vu back to the envious days there at Aspen. So, like I said, everybody seemed on point yesterday, and that's one of the biggest fears we have about this team is consistency outside of, the playing ability of Cutler on their other three big players. And they looked sharp yesterday. So they need to look sharp today, too, because Nihilum's no pushover. They taught us that yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So, with that said, we are about to go live with Map 1 here. Let's pass it back up to Helium and Launders.
Thank you there, Dust and Misled, for that great analysis. I'm Helium, with me, Launders. Very pumped for this. We will have to, some of us like, wow, we got to see Cash again. But this is that map where there's some amazing set strats, so you can see that cerebral play, but it also can just come down to an aim map, and we've got some sick aimers on both teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Cash is one of those maps, and it's a map that was just played yesterday, but it was also played by the same team yesterday.
Yeah.
And so it makes perfect sense that they'd want to pick it again. They can, look back at the map they played, fix what went wrong, and have some data to go into this next matchup, which they feel really confident about. Talking to Peter, he's like, it's going to be 2-0, no problem. And he actually predicted the map picks perfectly.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to ban Season. And they're going to pick Inferno. It was perfect. Everything that he said went according to plan. So they're going to be happy about that, and that's going to mean that they're prepared to win. So going into Inferno, I mean, in terms of predictions, which I don't know if you want to get right into.
I don't know. Better take that map at a time here. I mean, CLG picking Cash. I mean, I know it's been mentioned quite a bit that the story yesterday was it was really hard to get those CT rounds. So I feel like Cash, like, if we just get out of the gate and whoever's on CT first, which in this case will probably be CLG,
Yeah.
like, if they can get 5 or 6 CT rounds, like, they probably got the map no problem. And I know they talked about, our dynamic CT on Cash is going to be great, but I don't know if we really saw it yesterday. It was more the patient terrorist play that won out in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to do a great job on both sides, I feel like. Now, the interesting thing about the matchup is for Nihilum, they've got so much to prove. I think in recent scrims, CLG knows that Nihilum has only beat them on Inferno, and that's why they predicted that it would be their map pick. And as for Cash, I don't think Nihilum particularly wanted to play Cash, but they put the priority ban on another map because they got to watch them play Cash yesterday, right? So they do have some data on it, but in spite of that fact, CLG are confident on it, and I think they should be. I think this is going to be a good map for them. So I don't know if it'll be 1-1, but Peter does feel like, and they said that their Inferno is weak.
Yeah, which could explain why they picked it and why CLG expected the pick to come out. It was kind of funny, actually. The Nihilum members were trying to throw CLG off guard. They were over there talking before they all sat down, saying, "Oh yeah, we're picking Overpass. Like, be ready for Overpass."
Yeah.
Obviously trolling, and obviously they banned that map first. But it was funny. Everyone's in good spirits here, so that's always really nice to see. But again, back to Cash. So the CT rounds, Nihilum versus Luminosity yesterday, there were actually a lot of CT rounds. One for Nihilum. They actually got 6 in a row on Cash. So again, like, if they can start out on their CT half with that many, I think it comes down to the team that wins more CT rounds is going to get it.
Yeah. No doubt. And Nihilum on that T side, we saw them take mid with confidence. We had Professor Chaos come out with the op and do a lot of work on T side. Pretty much fearless play from him. And there were big question marks about his play and his experience and all this stuff in them on LAN. But apparently they appear to be a very solid team. In fact, I almost look at them now after their big win over Luminosity as kind of like a young CLG in the sense that they all are ADR monsters, have a lot of impact potential. And the other great thing about them is that they don't have 3 oppers, but they have 3 hybrids in Professor Chaos, in Automatic, and in Sexington, who really shined yesterday, Sexington.
Yeah, I think the breakdown was that Professor Chaos prefers the op on the terrorist side when it comes to getting that first kill, breaking into the site. He's very good at that. And you mentioned ADR monsters, and most of that was done with the AK yesterday. Sanks and Automatic, 102 and 108 ADR respectively there up against Luminosity, and that was on the stats for Cash. So they're going to be big hitters. And I know we did have the op stats. Professor Chaos had 8 on just the T side, and then they dropped it. But we do honorable mention to Frost and Flom from Luminosity. They still had like 18 combined op kills, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, a lot of the times in those maps, they did a great job of neutralizing the op by either going to the right side at the right time. Like, I think the best example of that was on Dust 2. After the pistol was won, we had Nihilum win the pistol, win 3 rounds in a row, right? And because Luminosity, opted to save on that second round and not buy, they would come out the gate with ops, and then they had 2 ops coming into the 4th round. Nihilum hit B off of that knowledge and neutralized that and put them back on a double save. So answering back with great tactics as well as aim, our Nihilum in this matchup versus Counterlogic Gaming. And we're coming into our first map here on Cash. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, and it's going to be Nihilum on that CT side as CLG picked it up. So over to the terrorist squad. And let's see how this pistol round's going to break down. Will they take it slow? Will they storm in quick? And it's over towards A for CLG.
Oh, the smoke was missed.
Oh, they're spotted. Valen's jumping. He's going to smoke himself off to try to hide in their quad. Automatic not able to get anything done there by the forklift. He's still there at fence, but jumping through. It's going to be Cutler able to bring him down. Sanks finds him and his team in a 3-on-4, and they're going for that retake over here at A. One-player fork. One's even still lurking back in A main, but no one from Nihilum going that way. Hayes with a quick one-tap over Toxic. Chaos moving in, though, just like he always does, getting those 2 quick headshots.
Wow.
And he's done it.
Just
the
like
retake.
That.
Like, what?
Unbelievable. How did they do that? That's amazing. Was that a... Wow, 2 kills apiece from Sanks and Professor Chaos, and then clean up the site. And man, CLG had the idea. They're running through a main that, because of their previous match that Nihilum played on Cash, they pushed the B side, right? And then they worked over to A once they got that information. This round, CLG, when they played Cash on their T side last time around, they boosted up. They played it slow in A main. They split squeaky A main and mid, and they did it slowly. They timed it. And this time around, they decided to do it quickly because they knew that Nihilum would most likely try to get some information at B and might be weak at A. But the retake, I mean, how do you plan for that? That was some crazy shooting.
And that was just showing all the star players right there. Automatic, Chaos, and Sanks. Those are all the fraggers, and they all got kills that round. Some of them even 2. And looks like some terrorists hanging back by the boost, trying to work out middle. Cutler's opening the squeaky door here. So once again, that's where the bomb is, too. So it is poised for an A take. We'll see if CLG can get any players out middle and up towards highway.
Man advantage right now to CLG. A smoke comes out from FNF to smoke in front of the fork and truck. He's going to throw a pop flash out here. Squeaky might be open. They're going to see what they can do with this, but securing the man advantage and Hayes with the rifle means that they have a good opportunity to win this round. Full flash into the sight is Sanks as he comes around the corner and he gets a frag. He's the last man alive and 2 coming up highway. He's getting crunched right now and he does get another kill. Very important for his team. Flowsick all of a sudden the last man left.
Yeah, and that Galil coming out for Hayes here amongst some of the Tech 9s, even after losing that first round. And, well, CLG keeping the pressure on. Looks like it might pay off here. Flowsick in that 1v3. Hazed is very low, but now getting caught in the crossfire. There's the boost over at Quad, and Tarek with the Tech 9 will bring him down, and just like that, it's 1-1.
And just like that, the eco happens, the momentum is swung, the confidence is swung. CLG got to be feeling really great about that. And even though a great pistol round that was won off the back of an amazing retake from Nihilum, are sitting here with little money and not much to spend. So they're going to have to think about their options coming into later rounds, but CLG so far riding high.
Well, it looks like Nihilum not able to work with too much, might even be forced into that double save, but they've got an idea with Sanks and Valens both, picked up a smoke, and of course P250s and 5.7s on the board. It is going to be a tough round for them, and when you lose that second round on the CT side, like your economy is just in shambles. So we're going to see full evidence of that. But Galil, FAMAS, Tech 9 over there are the lesser weapons on CLG's side, but still look at that equipment value. It's like 18,000 difference.
Yeah, and this is what CLG did on their anti-ecos as well on T side. They waited for pushes, waited for the early aggression to come out, and now that there's a little bit of data on both sides for Nihilum and CLG on Cash, it's kind of a question mark as to whether or not, okay, do we push because they know we're going to push, or do we push because they've seen us push and they may not think we're going to do it again? And it looks like they're reading each other exactly how they would like, and CLG are just going to wait it out. This favors Nihilum, the fact that they're forcing them into a late round execute, but at the same time, it's going to be up to them to hit their shots. And since they don't have a stack going on, they're going to try to force some rotates, but the 2 men left in the site are standing strong.
And the clock's getting low. There's only 30 seconds here, and Sanks and Automatic getting the first 2 kills of the round. 25 seconds now. A site is clear, though, so the bomb is going to go down. CLG still with 3, and now it's up to Professor Chaos. He had some amazing plays there in the very first round, but this is going to be difficult. Tarek and Finesse already have killed 2 people each.
Yeah, working up slow. I think the most he can do in this situation is try to drop a gun. Going for a defuse is not going to work out, but whoa, taking some damage through the smoke. He's got them eagle eyes and can see through those particles, but Professor Chaos does have a way to cut him off, but Peter just holding the tightest angle. Takes down Professor Chaos, who was on the low health.
Yeah, quick little one tap, didn't even have to get him in the head. And now look at the money we talked about. Have to go for the double save here, 4,000 being the highest. That's Automatic with that. We'll just see P250s smoke on to Sanks. Okay, a couple more nades coming out on Valens and crew. Nihilum, they had a pretty decent hold over there at A. I think that it was the boost over the site crate that kind of caught a few off guard.
Yeah, if Tarek didn't get that third kill on the player in sight, the bomb might not have gone down in time. So he did that on the back of having only like 10 HP. So that was a crucial bit of damage that he did in that round. And but it was really good to see that Nihilum didn't bite on that fake, that they stuck to the plan. And they realized, you know, if they go to the other side, we have just as much chance of losing. So let's hope they try to fake us out. And they saw CLG pull off some amazing fakes last game.
Finesse, he was watching that B push, but he decides to turn around. And maybe there were 2 players, you know, working up there. So there's a lot of information to be had. Like, look at the rotates coming out right now as they push through the B warehouse. So they know it's going to be A. Automatic will get 1 with the 5-7, but Tarek with the FAMAS will grab 2. Sanks, not quite a 1 dig, but he gets him in the head anyways. Took a couple shots first. And now right into a 3-on-3, and they have been buying up smokes on these eco rounds to delay CLG from getting out A main. This time the bomb will go down at about 41 seconds remaining. Flowsick though now for Nihilum coming on the flank through A main. It's actually man advantage to Nihilum. 3-on-2, now 2-on-2, peeking out his Flowsick.
Oh my god,
no
turns
hit,
around and gets that
time.
kill. Are you serious? That's amazing. Holy smokes, and so low on HP, about to leave his teammate in a 1v1 with an op and 21 health. That could have been the end of it if he didn't turn around and get that quick headshot on FNS. So very nice play from him, and they steal that round back. I'm truly surprised. That was an eco, and that's going to do so much good for their money because they were planning to buy anyway.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. And Flowsick, you know, doing it as well. He wasn't that crazy big top fragging ADR monster on day 1 or on this map. He was actually near the bottom, even on the winning team with only 14 frags. I think it was even -2, but what a play there.
And just as you mentioned, I think it was Finesse watching the flank at the beginning, and as soon as he fell off, we had 2 players push B, so it was a great timing on the part of Nihilum because they were able to get that information and make their way over to A, and that's what won them the round. So not afraid to make a move like that is what pays off, and what a better time to do it than here in a very high-pressure situation.
Oh, this round might just come down to the vent control. Peter, I think he just got opted down when he was trying to get in. Oh yeah, it was Professor Chaos that caught him on the flip side. He was over there in checker. Can he also shut down Finesse? He's going to re-smoke. And Professor Chaos, you know, generally the T-side opera, but he takes it out here, CT. Hazed will bring down Valens. Oh, and now he wants to rotate. Bomb, though, is towards B. He'll go back up towards Heaven. See if he can get them before they can cross into the site. Pop flash doesn't do much to him.
He will take a peek out
here. He should probably get that one. He does. Cutler is down now. Finesse is going to expect him close. No, Finesse shoots him in the chin. That's a 2-on-1 automatic by himself. Going in fast. Partially blind. Gets it down to 2 HP. The molly. And the dink, but it's not enough. It will be CLG, and wow. If people weren't convinced about Nihilum, they think that maybe CLG could just walk away on their map pick. Look how hard fought this has been. Almost only 1 person alive every round.
Yeah, that's incredibly close. But I think that for a team like Nihilum, if they don't come away with an early lead, it's going to be a struggle later on in the half. So that was hard fought, but and also so close. I mean, that 2v1 shouldn't have come as close as it did, but automatic flashing through himself through the smoke, gets dinked and still gets the frag, and almost gets a second. Very close play. Good kills from Hayes, though, who caused the rotates in the first place, and that's what managed to pull Professor Chaos into upper. From there, he did actually get a frag, so still doing work for his team.
Botch that nade, hit the top of the garage there. Throwing nades in CSGO is really fun. But here we go. We got the just the eco round here for Nihilum. It'll be Cutler to open up here through the door. You know, it's really, opening doors is tough.
It's stuck.
Yeah, the very mannered CTs, they open the door for one another, they get in there. And they actually do find the kill, thanks to bring down Cutler. So, you know, even strength, and actually now CT is a little stronger than before because they've got the AK now.
Yeah, making the perfect rotate here over towards B. Just a wise decision, putting a lot of pressure on Professor Chaos. He's been seeing a lot of action today, and let's see if he can make a play. It's going to be really tough with just a P250. Once again, they are unsafe, but any economic damage they can do is a win. And this is actually to bait out the people from pushing back from A, so that's a perfect fake.
What? Wait. No, didn't find the kill there.
Oh, I think Sanks came in from upper and got that trade frag, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so 3-on-3. We got 2 low players on Nihilum. Tarek down to 4 HP with the bomb. Might be hard for him to plant. It started at A, it swung back to B, and here we are again. Oh, But look at that automatic quickly on the flank and the trade out immediately by Peter. That'll put Chaos in a 1-on-2. Flowsick did it before. Can Chaos replicate? And here they are, the cams. Peter, Chaos, the smoke dissipates.
Two players I wouldn't want to be in a 1v1 with right here facing each other. And Peter sitting behind the sight box in a very aggressive position.
He spotted, it looks like,
get
so
that
he's gonna have to
information.
move. Time is ticking in favor of CLG jumping. We've seen some crazy jump headshots on this LAN already. And even earlier in some of those Euro matches, but here he comes. He's gonna go up top. Peter might get shot in the back.
Oh,
he will go down.
Oh, with 10 seconds left, he's not gonna get the defuse.
Yeah, and he'll decide to just go for the guns here, trying to... Their economy wasn't too bad. They saved that round, and some of them even had 5K, so we should see ops and a nice full strength here for Nihilum since they're able to preserve the AK.
I think Professor Chaos showed Peter a little bit too much respect there in that 1v1. With the amount of time that he had remaining, he had to be a little bit more aggressive than he did, being fully aware of the clock, which I know he is, and working around that box as slowly as he did. He was expecting Peter to make a mistake, and Peter basically assumed that right. And he didn't come out and take the engagement versus a player who had very good aim, and instead worked around the box, which was exactly what Professor Chaos was hoping he wouldn't do. So, well played by Peter, but I think it was a little bit of fear on the part of Professor Chaos that caused him to lose
Nihilum
that.
getting very aggressive here. They get over the boost. Flowsick very blind. Actually, the boost player blind as well. There for CLG. Automatic can't get the other one out there in middle. Flowsick going to peek the vents one more, but this isn't to 3 people. He's got to get out of there. As Terrace Molly's coming through, and he will even be shot in the back there by Peter with the Tech 9. 4-on-2 here. And this gun round in round 7 for Nihilum not going so well. The aggression does not pan out over there in mid.
Yeah, and now they've got options to work with. I mean, there's pretty much no way they can lose this round. Hayes is going to be lurking, as we mentioned. He's done that many times, CT and T side, and Professor Chaos does get the frag over here, but that might elude Nihilum into thinking that they might be working over towards Valen. So he's going to be over in the A side, and it's up to him to get 1 or 2 frags here if possible.
Wow.
One player goes down with a nice headshot through the door.
Now trying to get another one here at 4. Can he find 2? No, a lot of the bullets going straight into the side of the forklift. Now it's Professor Chaos. He's got 1. He's going to have to find 2. Molly out onto the side trying to stop that plant. Gets a bit of damage there on the main player. That looked like Cutler. We'll get Peter real quick, but it doesn't matter. It's another round to CLG.
Yeah, a hot headshot, but they decided to double peek, and that's something that I think Envy does really well, is they take 2 spots, and in a 2v1, instead of letting one of your players get encroached on and just a free kill that leaves your other teammate in a 1v1, they decide to peek from 2 different angles with 2 different players. So even though that was a really nice shot from Professor Chaos and took down Peter, there was no way that Cutler couldn't get that frag as he peeked from main as well. So well played in that 2v1 situation from CLG, and another really nice attempt from Professor Chaos in a 1v2.
Yeah, now once we get, established here, first quarter of the game, we will see that those CT rounds are becoming pretty tough to get. Was back-to-back at the start. Once again here at the door, this time Cutler shoots down both of those CTs. Actually make it a triple there for Cutler. Professor and Flowsick left alive, really just trying to do some economic damage with a nice little stack here. One of them will fall, but there's Professor Chaos with another headshot for him. Trying to just save this in a 1v4.
Yeah, looking for the ace here. Probably won't get it. That's going to be very tough, and doesn't have a kit either, so is left to his own device, which does an AK and does a lot of early damage to Peter. Might not get the frag anymore, as that opportunity is leaving from him, but Professor Chaos turns around and gets Cutler. That's 1 down, and I know you mentioned the CT side rounds are becoming hard to come by, but honestly, I have to give Nihilum some credit. I mean, it's been, what, 2 1v1s on the part of Professor Chaos, right? The pistol round was...
It's been close.
Was extremely close, even though they actually won that, and so it doesn't seem like CLG are running away with this by any means, but just by the skin of their teeth and maybe the experience are able to have the upper hand in those very close, important, and stressful engagements.
And we can see the money not quite all there. No head armor. Doesn't really matter against all AKs, but only 2 kits, which is worth pointing out. Since it has been coming down to so many 1v1s, and we already had one that they fragged out, but they didn't have time to defuse. So 2 kits could be a big deal. Flashes, though, into A. Valence at the default spot will be brought down by Cutler, getting so many kills on these A entries. But look at this. Tarek with another 2, shot down by Chaos. It's a 3-on-2. Once more, Nihilum disadvantaged. Can they take the retake? They had a crazy one on the pistol round. Can they replicate it with these silenced M4? Oh, a dink onto Hayes. He gets very, very low, but still Chaos trying to deal with Peter, that forklift player. Flowsick now hopping over Toxic. He's going to, oh yeah, Peter will gun him down. Can the trade be made? It is now a 1-on-2. Chaos going to deal with this boost at quad. Sees ahead, doesn't even shoot at
if
only
he
6
doesn't
bullets
know,
in the
if he
chamber.
knows, then they're both back there.
Doesn't have enough bullets to really kill both unless he's just incredibly with the headshots. But no, it doesn't find it. Hazed will bring him down.
Yeah, if he had spotted that head, he would know they were boosted up there, unless he thought they were jumping, of course, and so that could have given him a bit of an advantage. But flashing over the quad and then double peeking it made it really difficult again for Professor Chaos, who seems to be left in the 1v1s, 1v2s, and 1v3s constantly. Oh man, that's pretty tough. But CLG did a great job of changing it up, going right for a fast A, just like they did on the pistol, and it ended up being fruitful. They had Tarek just beeline through the site all the way to truck and try to get an early frag, and what they did was push back the aggression and make them rethink how they were going to work on the retake instead of flashing through the smoke, the very popular over-aggressive play that people like to do.
Tons of smokes here for CLG. Flowsig will push through, almost got one, but it's Cutler and Tarek to shut it down. They find the entries. B now under terrorist control, and it's just Automatic and Valens left alive. Finesse will drop down to that 5-7. But 4-on-2, CLG already with the bomb down. Should be smooth sailing here in round 10.
It's going to be very good for them. And again, CLG, as I thought, were just, starting to run away with this half in the sense that, there were very close rounds, but at the same time, if Nihilum, I felt like, weren't able to put rounds on the board, they wouldn't have one of the only advantages they have in this matchup, and that's, I think, catching CLG off guard. What the experience of CLG gives them is the ability to make adjustments probably more quickly than Nihilum can, even though Nihilum are all very competent players that seem to work well together.
All right, Automatic able to preserve an AK. I want to take a look at the kills, though. Look at Professor Chaos, man. 13 kills already with only 2 rounds won, and Flowsic had that amazing 1v2 clutch.
Yeah.
His only 2 kills, though.
Right.
So 2 kills, Flowsic and Valens, maybe need to step it up in terms of the frags. Sanks, Automatic, and Professor Chaos doing just as good or better than any of the CLG players in terms of, raw aim. And CLG all very, very close. Not more than 2 kills difference between any player.
Now, everyone from CLG are up in the A main again, or so conceding a lot of map control and turning around past that up. But Automatic turns around and gets a frag anyway, gets 2.
Yeah, it does make up for that first miss by finding 2. Tarek, though, finally puts that to an end. Pop flash off the catwalk here. Valens want to peek in. Try to get up those kills. Sanks coming over finally. Trail end of that spray and a nice pop flash to delay Tarek and a Finesse even more, but Finesse brings down Valens, who is up on the rafters. 3-on-2. Nihilum with the man advantage this time. Bomb might still go down. This very safe default plant, but still trying to fake it. Gonna catch that player. Oh, Sanks was actually able to bring down Tarek. So now it's a 2-on-1, 50 seconds on the clock. FNS now down to 4 HP. It's going to be a tough one. And Professor Chaos, another frag on the round. That's number 14 and round 3 for Nihilum.
Yeah, Automatic there turned a bit of a whiff as the player was walking backwards through A main as his team was going to pop flash for him out into a 2K, which is very important. As the Opper, coming up against a 5-stack rush into your site, if you miss the first shot, it could all be over. That could be the difference between a 4K and no kills at all, because that gives the ability for Counterlogic Gaming, once the op is on cycle, to get in positions to swarm this op, and also, since they know where he is, deal with him with certain style of peeking. And so they did a great job trying to neutralize him, but at the same time, he answered back so well with those 2 frags.
All right, all AKs here for CLG. Automatic once again with that op. But Tarek will start this round off by bringing down Flowsic over here in B. Cutler with 1, but Sanks with a double will keep the 3-on-3. Automatic, he'll miss the first op shot again, and this time he doesn't get a second chance. Tarek guns him down. Now Sanks, going to be caught out from underneath. Peter lurking there below the vents. And now it's Valens by himself here in round 12. Bomb already planted. He'll try to go for some exits.
Yeah, their raw sight holds are a little bit weak at eating that flash completely. That's Valens.
They're pumped off of that one.
Yeah. Saw how far that flash was getting lobbed out and didn't want to bother dodging it, knowing that a player was going to peek right after that to follow up, and was hoping he'd see him before the flash actually exploded, but unfortunately couldn't do it. And right now, Nihilum are getting outclassed, whereas early in the rounds, they had more of a fighting chance in the mid to late and in those 2v2s. But the issue, I think, for them is their raw sight holds just aren't that great, and I don't think they expected CLG to just come right out and hit a sight.
Yeah, they were working pretty fast there, and I don't know, had it gone towards B that fast before?
No, that was the first time they had gone towards B that fast,
yeah.
And that's a big deal. So they also try to stage up 5 people in A main. They did that twice, and including the pistol, and that's a huge risk because if you aren't able to execute on the site, the round is lost. We saw FNS end up in a 1v2, one of the closer rounds, but still sticking to their guns and knowing that for the fast plays, there may be a better chance of winning than to be working picks versus a team like this, and didn't want to leave it to chance. So just playing together and knowing that the sites are going to be sparsely played out and maybe avoiding mid control, worried about having to take mid versus Nihilum.
Yeah, so 9-3 the score right now, CLG with 9, and I think the big thing here is Nihilum not able to get more than just a one-off round. They haven't chained anything together for 2 or 3, and I know you talked yesterday about Cash being a pretty streaky map. So maybe if they're able to do that, like still there's clearly potential here. Like CLG has won the half numerically, but if Nihilum can get out of it with maybe a round or 2 in a row, have some momentum when they will flip over.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very possible. I think right now Nihilum actually look better on Cash than Elevate did versus them yesterday. So
yeah.
Well, one of their issues right now on a fundamental level, they're getting exploited. So maybe that isn't as true in that case because the 5-man rushes, you know, they seem very basic. It seems just to be the right answer, I think, in CLG's head as to how to deal with the way that Nihilum wants to play CT side. And, you know, they're expecting a little bit more time to think before they have to get executed on.
Well, if we look at it, actually, the CLG Elevate, it was CLG that also started on the T side.
Yeah.
So Elevate only got 3 rounds there. It was a 12-3 half. And honestly, we might see that exact same scenario. But it was then Elevate who got started in round 2. They had the eco there, second round of the second half. And then they were able to chain 3 together at a time. Then they had 4 and 2. They were almost mounting that comeback for a final score of 16-12. So maybe Nihilum, just like Elevate, will have that later start.
Yeah.
Or just go to show that it's the terrorist side that's going to be winning more rounds on maps like, I mean, Cash and Dust 2 is where we've seen it the most.
Yeah. I mean, both teams have had the opportunity to play the map and see their issues with it. I think that the biggest thing is that Nihilum are going up against a greater challenge than CLG is, if that makes sense. Nihilum right now, you know, have a big win over Luminosity, but I'd say CLG would have even performed better versus the same team. So it's tough for me to say. I don't know how they're feeling right now. We're taking a look at their faces, and it looks like a slight smirk on the side of Hazed right now, as I'm sure they're content with their progress so far on this map.
Yeah, they have done quite well. Although, I mean, like we said, it was maybe a little shaky earlier. There were so many rounds that were very close. Like the first 5 or 6 rounds were all basically one person alive. There were very close clutches, some of which Nihilum won the aim battles, but then were not able to have time for the defuse. Money has been tight.
Yeah.
But again, we can maybe go over some of the kills here. So Professor Chaos up to 14, not a surprise. Like the 3 fraggers here that you expect on Nihilum, Automatic Saints, Chaos. But they're already all in the double digits. It's Flowsick and Valens, though, with only 2 apiece. So maybe if they start to step it up, CLG might have something to worry about if they start getting kills as well.
Yeah, definitely true. They moved the op over to A. I'm not sure if Automatic was playing mid at first and not seeing any action, so they moved him over, but that was a pretty good adjustment. That was a round they won. Now, I'm not sure what they need to do to further their lives in this half. They want to get those 6 rounds that they have potential to do, but it's going to take a lot of work. Right now, the money's low. They're on a save, and that means that, I guess, if they don't perform the amazing eco, we'll have to look at a highest potential of 5 rounds on CT.
And we can talk about Cutler as well. We saw that, you know, Puckett letting Cutler know when he asked Peter that he said that Cutler was, you know, he was the best player on the team. He was so consistent. And look at him now, 11 kills already. That's not the most, but look at all these first kills. And those are what really matter on the T side. He's got 4 first kills. Yeah. A lot of them coming at the squeaky door. And I know it was an eco round, but did have a first kill, like triple kill as well at the door. Yeah.
They tried to bully him in the squeaky that one round and managed to do it, and then I think made him mad because then he killed 3 of them.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so here we are. We're back in it.
And the gamble
all 10
stack.
in the server, and yeah, towards A, which again is probably the smarter call for the stack. CLG have been favoring that site a little bit, but it is, I believe it was the last round that went to B too. So here they are again. Bomb is planted. And Nihilum will probably try to either set up for some exits or maybe they barge in, but they don't have armor and upgraded pistols, so it's not like they're just going to stack A and save when it plants B.
Yeah. Even though CLG have favored that site a little bit more, they've also done 5B, but that doesn't make the stack any less valid. I think there was a good percentage chance that they would hit A, and I'm not sure why CLG opted to just hit B like they did. Are again sticking 5 across, and I think it's because once they tried to fake a site and it didn't work, they gave up on that game completely.
Yeah, and actually no one really able. Cutler's taking some damage. Woo! There it is, a 1 dig from Sanks, and that AK getting shot over to him from the bomb explosion, or maybe he already had it. But there, he will bring that into this round. They can, yeah, all right. The op comes out, Valence purchases it up, and will drop it to his teammate.
And we'll see what they do with it. Professor Chaos, as we mentioned, has been opping on the T side most of the time. And if we follow him, is he going to take it into B? Yes, he will. And it looks like a player will follow him, which is kind of a surprise, but at the same time, we've known CLG to be hitting sites 5 men at a time. So he's going to cut off the map here. Does get a frag on Hayes. A very nice shot from him as Hayes tried to just give him the shoulder, but instead, Professor Chaos gave him the finger and killed him. So now a little bit of pressure over towards A. We got Cutler working that squeaky door as he loves to do. And the adjustments are being made. Flowsick moving over towards middle. They're starting to have the reads here, and they know CLG like to keep it simple. And they've also recognized, I think, that Hayes lurks.
Tarek, though, will find one to bring it back to that even strength. And still with the minute on the clock, they've got time to, sit back, throw a fake, or just stop making noise and then hit A late. But they will just go out, guns blazing. Cutler finds the entry again. Automatic, though, from the forklift with the FAMAS. Will get 2 before being brought down there by Peter. Now it's just Professor Chaos. He found the first kill this round, but can he find the last 2? That's what's really going to matter right here. He gets 1 of them. And Peter playing on that forklift. We will have that 1-on-1. Peter on your left screen here, popping out that flash. And with the AK, he'll bring it in.
Another brutal round from Professor Chaos, coming this close to winning the 1v1 after getting a very nice frag on a fully flashed player. Not exactly sure how that happened, but either way, it's a round on the board for CLG. And I think the issue there was, I'm not sure what call was made, but Flowsick, who was originally stacking A, opted to move off into highway and then came back. I think they doubted themselves. Even though they killed Hayes, they know CLG are playing very simply. They had the right idea. They knew it was going to be A, and then they second-guessed themselves.
All right, round 15 will be exactly the same scenario CLG had yesterday with a 12-3 half. Valence says no. He's going to start things off with that CZ kill. Professor Chaos, can't really build up your money on the last round with that Mag 7, the 900 bounty, but let's see if he can get any work done with that. It'll be exciting if he does.
I see him as the type of player to be good with anything he wants to use, but Hayes. Whoa, even that 1 dig.
He's finally someone showing up on this land with the 1 digs, and it's been Sanks. He's had 2 or 3 this match already.
On this map. Nice shots, and then there's a man advantage. They've got 5 up. They weren't able to secure the guns of CLG, so they don't have that going for them. But as the pressure towards A happens, FNS comes out with a really important headshot, meaning 2 players are alive left on the site. Molly's going to go off to clear up fence, and they're going to try to take the site right now.
All right, Peter was mauling out the fence area. Joe turns around, and there's Flowsick on the flank. FNS finds Valence. Tarek, though, full blind. Flowsick going to find another 2. He hasn't had many kills, but the ones he has had have been very, very important. Now it's Finesse by himself here in a 1v3. Nihilum looking for that 4th round.
Yeah, opting not to take the duel right off the bat with automatic, working around the box and securing around for his team. So there we go, off the back of an eco, which, is kind of a sketchy sign, right? You win one of the few rounds that you do on an eco, putting the 4th round after losing 3 and then losing 6. It's tough. It was a rough path to 4 rounds for Nihilum. I think the amount of clutch rounds there was at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, there was a lot, and we saw during the analysis there's a lot of clutch kills, a lot of clutch rounds in general for a team like Nihilum. And you got to look at that, though, with context. having a lot of clutch round wins and kills isn't always good because that means you're putting yourself in a, a 1v2, 1v3 situation a lot. But it's enough to get them 4 rounds, and Nihilum coming in kind of the underdogs or one of them to this LAN are able to get more rounds on their CT side than Elevate was.
Yeah, I think they look stronger so far in this performance. Again, one of the things that both of these teams have is a little bit more data, considering they both played yesterday on this map, so they can look at each other and say, okay, this is what they might do, this is what they might not do. And we saw a little bit of the anti-stratting within themselves on CLG. Originally we saw them throw a fake on a site. Nihilum knew that, didn't bite on it. Once CLG recognized they didn't bite on it, they didn't bother throwing any more fakes. Instead, they started 5-manning sites, and it was working for them. I think Nihilum must have been upset about those rounds that full executes were able to just be so strong. But again, a little bit of underperformance on the side of a couple players on Nihilum means that the frag distribution for CLG has resulted in such a lopsided round score.
Yeah, Flowsick's 4 kills, though, were very important 4 kills. He was one of the players to get the crazy clutch. Actually, he was the one that won all their clutches. Look at that 1vx column there. So he got 7 clutch kills on rounds 1. Which is really big. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Professor Chaos.
4 kills, 7 clutch kills.
Yeah, never mind. There you go. A couple 2Ks for Flowsick. 2 2Ks, 4 kills. But yeah, CLG, what I was going to say is they felt a little, they were playing some tighter Counter-Strike, though, I think, against Elevate. We saw basically them just spreading out, clawing like every single T side.
I think they were more confident that they could. It seemed like that was their one strategy, or not their one strategy, but their kind of one plan. And once that plan had been watched over to them overnight, then they're kind of going off of reacting.
They've been studied, so they got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, here we are though. First round of the second half. It'll be really, really big if Nihilum can find the pistol in the next 2. They had a crazy first. That first pistol round that they won anyways was absolutely insane on the retake. Let's see if they can do something similar here as they are working this mid boost, putting a lot of people up there. 3, actually. And it's going to be Peter that's going to have to deal with that. Molly into the sandbags there. No one holding that spot. It's just Peter up in the Z connector. Not even a player in Highway. I hear Highway being called though from CLG's perspective, but Cutler can't turn around fast enough. Finesse from behind. Hayes is playing A main. He's going to get a headshot onto Automatic now. Player in quad. Oh, Tarek will actually grab Sanks, and that was out towards middle still as they were coming out of Z. Bomb is going to go down in the first round, so win or lose, that's already a pretty big deal. But look at Professor Chaos bringing down Finesse. Oh! And the last bullet in the clip will be inserted in the head of Hayes. Oh! And he's going to get another one. This guy's absolutely chaotic, of course. 3 kills here for Professor Chaos. Can he find the 4th? No. It will be Tarek with a 3K of his own. And he does have time. Nice shots, all chatted there by Finesse.
Oh my god, that was beautiful. Beautiful round on both sides. Obviously, Luminosity Gaming, Tarek with ice water in his veins came out with the important headshot on Professor Chaos, who's working that peak with precision. And oh my god, after a couple nice shots, another clutch round that he couldn't come out with. Every time it gets harder and every time it gets closer, but cannot secure them. But beautiful shots nonetheless.
Yeah, it puts Chaos up to 19 and 11 for his KD, which is unreal. That's one of the best teams in North America. And that team does have 12 rounds right now. They've got to get through this one. Not looking to get ecoed here. And not much of a buy-in by Nihilum. It looks like they're going to be kind of... They're trying to play that long game here. Get their economy up and have a real round. They'll rush out quick into A. It's SMGs everywhere. Cutler very, very blind, but now getting to use that P90. Bomb will go down again, though, so that's very big. Bomb planted twice means you got a nice 3rd round coming up for Nihilum.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a victory, 100%. That's all they wanted to do. CLG are thinking about this bomb plan as, okay, we let the bomb go down, but the thing is for them, they have such a round lead, it's not going to affect them negatively, I feel like. Now, we get to see if CLG are able to come out with a stronger T side, but because they're able to secure that pistol, they have to worry about it less and less. I mean, they're 3 rounds away from taking this map and having to move on without having to deal with too many gun rounds. But because of that bomb plant, we're going to see one early here, and it's going to be facing a couple of SMGs. Peter only with a scout, and Tarek with the MP7, Hayes with a P90.
Yeah, so keeping those SMGs alive here. We saw some amazing scout play yesterday with CLG Elevate. Skadoodle on Dust 2 with that the scout through the door.
Yeah.
CT side, that was insane. Maybe Peter can do something nuts here. Oh, we had some nice op shots as well in the Nihilum.
Oh, some beautiful
and,
shots, yeah.
Luminosity game on
Frost
Cash.
with that headshot through the box. Oh my god. And that like 45-degree flick outside of the B doors, that was amazing.
Indeed it was. All right, so no bloodshed yet this round. All right, Tarek maybe got a little scratch, took 6 damage. And once more, Bomb is down though, so Nihilum kind of over at A, looking to see if they can't get a pick. With Valens sort of lurking up a little bit, watching their flank at mid, but oh man, checking everything, and then the peek comes. Sanks will go down. Finesse will get Valens. Hazed with the P90 will clean up that one. Can he get the next forklift player coming up as well? No, it's going to be automatic and Flowsick to completely open up the A site, but they don't have the bomb, and that is a problem. And it's actually going to be spotted by one of the CT players. I believe Tarek has the bomb. And it'll be Finesse to kill automatic, so Flowsick all alone right now. He's had some really nice 1v2 situations before, and he might have another. He'll bring down Finesse with a clean headshot. Tarek now in A main, playing up on the bench there.
With a skinless MP7 in a dream.
Oh! And he can't get it. The AK prevails, and Flowsick, man, what has he got, 6 kills? 1v2s?
Yeah, excellent kills. Yeah, for sure.
Up to 8 now, actually.
Tarek was holding, you know, it was a flat angle, perfectly parallel to the wall he was standing in front of. And, you know, we saw him play those off angles like that time at Goose when he was waiting for a player to cross cap. But regarded the angle he was playing as kind of an off angle, because why would anyone be standing there? Flowsick read into that perfectly and came out with the exact peak that he needed to and played that 1v2 to perfection, even though I don't think the round should have been that close. And so CLG.
Could be bad for Chaos. He's still going to get one with the Tech 9. He gets 2 with the Tech 9 because he had the backup there. Cutler and Hayes can't pick their targets, and they both will fall. Flowsick going to get another, and this isn't just like an eco round for CLG. They had bought up some pistols armor, some rifles and armor, so they're going to be most likely on that full save coming up next round, which means it's finally time for Nihilum to start stringing a few together. That's the first time they've done it. This is 2 in a row now for them.
The first time they've done it. Yeah, look at this, 4 rounds spaced apart. And yeah, here on the T side doing it versus buy round. So this is excellent from Nihilum. This is a great sign for them. They got to feel great about it. Now they have to continue some kind of trend of winning, exploit CLG's CT side, and we will get to see if that's possible. We will get to see if yesterday carries over into day, or if CLG are going to be able to play the advantage of the CT side and a little bit of a love tap for Peter as he goes into upper, but
you don't need that 100 health. That's too much.
No.
All right, so it's going to be towards P. They are running into a bit of a stack. 3 players are here, so 1 at A, 1 at mid. Also for CLG, what can they get done? USP, not really the gun you want, but Finesse must have been really, really poor. They still have a nice crossfire, so Peter's able to get that trade out there. Can't get another one, though, as Nihilum just starts gunning him down. The rotation's coming over. Going through Z there is going to be Cutler, so they'll both be posted up on the CT side. Maybe going to look for some kills as they cross. Very blind. He will get it! The fadeaway full blind.
Oh my god.
For Cutler. Can Hayes get another one? No. Does find the dink though, and Professor Chaos with 2 to close out the round and a 3K overall. So now 3 rounds in a row for Nihilum.
Yeah, another brilliant round from Professor Chaos, getting 2 frags, securing them, this time with a bigger gun that he's earned because they won that last one. And another full buyout, obviously, rebuys from Nihilum. And they're going up against Luminosity Gaming, who aren't doing very well, are pretty much on welfare at this point with less than 3 or 4K apiece. And now we'll have to come up with a strategy. Are looking to smoke A main here, and it'd be nice to see a stack, but if they don't run the stack properly, it will be all for naught. And Nihilum working around the map are not making it clear exactly what they want to do, but with their bomb outside of the A main on that side, you might assume that it will be an A split, and Cutler opening up the squeaky with a nice time flash is going to push through and get that information.
Yeah, and it wasn't an A stack right away. They were spread out, spotting things at mid and B, but after a while they rotated 4 to A. Now they'll rotate 1 out. So 3 towards A, 2 over at B, and you know, CLG just being very mobile on the CT side. Now they're just slowly getting their stack over to B, where maybe the first kill will happen. No, it's going to be automatic moving up highway. He finds it at A, and look at that. They started at A, and now they moved to B, and it turns out Nihilum were patient and they're able to get into A site. They don't even really have to fight. Automatic Mo will not get another hazed with that Deagle. And actually hazed with 2, Tarek with another after that. Does put us in a 2-on-2 situation. So even though they got juked, CLG get themselves to a point where this round could be winnable, but a nice pop flash lets Valens get an easy kill there. And now Tarek very, very low and all by himself will go save that AK.
That was a beautiful pop flash to assist his teammate to not only kill the player at truck, but also get control of that part of the map. And with the truck and highway split, that round could have been a lot more dangerous with Hayes and Tarek still alive. So as he creeped up, they executed and took a great opportunity to secure that round and make sure they'd be able to get out of the site with both guns and also have the bomb explode.
And there it goes. So Nihilum will win the round. Professor Chaos getting close to the 30 bomb. Only 2 kills away. He's up to 28.
Oh my God,
Flowsick's been
that's
stepping it up a
incredible.
little bit. He's got up to 9 kills.
That's unbelievable. So many of those kills were on rounds lost, which is
Yeah.
so unfortunate. But it's because he was left in 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4 situations, and he has come close to winning so many of them. Maybe here, where he's so good at getting the entry frags with that op on T side, he'll be able to do more damage. And it looks like he wants to take a fight with Cutler and fight for the squeaky play. And is he pushing in Cutler? No, sitting on the outside of the squeaky is not looking to take this fight. It's going to be better for him, I think.
Yeah, and Chaos might have to win 2 op battles because CLG, once they got to the rifle rounds, they weren't really working out, and now they're going to mix it up a little bit. The economy gets stronger. Both Peter and Tarek are opping here. Peter holding down middle from the white box. Tarek is opping over into the B warehouse. No players there for Nihilum, though. They're focused on A main and the middle
Valen's
area.
down to 6 HP already.
And that nade should, oh, it went behind, it went further in and behind the wall, so it didn't take any damage. And Sanks will actually open the round. He brings down Peter. So now Chaos, if there's going to be an op battle, it'll have to be with Tarek. And Finesse is actually pushed off of his location there in Z, but look at that, Tarek and Cutler on the board with 2, gets them the man advantage. Automatic coming up.
Wow,
Highway.
huge frags
2
from Automatic.
beautiful headshots as they enter into the site. Bomb is going to be a little delayed, so CLG might be able to have their presence there before the bomb goes down.
That was some great AK control, some very nice shooting from Automatic. Full flash is someone who's pushing through the smoke and grabs another headshot for his team. Tarek left in a 1v3 now, all because of Automatic.
Partially flashed, maybe a little smoke blind, but look at that, Tarek with a beautiful op shot. He still has a 1-on-2. He'll get one with the P250. And I don't know, was the bomb planted default or is it planted for, no, it is planted for A main, so the riskier plant because they had time. Oh,
And he
but
gets
it
the
doesn't
frag!
matter. He's going to get peaked.
Unbelievable 1v3.
And Tarek able to get the round. That's the 3rd CT round for them, and it came after 4 in a row of Nihilum and Tarek. What a clutch.
Oh my God, and once again, Professor Chaos left in a 1v1 to close it out. Unable to do it on the back of a very nice P250 headshot from Tarek, and man, that was beautifully played. And you know, sometimes we see teams plant for A main the wrong way, and that's really close to the site, and people can defuse from within the site. This time it was planted properly, but Tarek didn't care.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the peak come out. But, well, like I said, 4 in a row for Nihilum, so the economy is doing good. They'll have that op again on Chaos behind that 4 AKs. Meanwhile, even though CLG won, a little poorer, more expensive side, they've got 2 FAMAS. Let's see, Cutler killed a lot of people at that squeaky door on the T side. Let's see if he can replicate it now that he's the defender. And it's going to be smoked off. So Automatic. Not going to be opening up the A site from Squeaky, but he's done a fantastic job the last couple rounds going up highway. See if Professor Chaos can't do it here with his aggressive opping.
And a lot of pressure on both sides towards that A site.
Might see middle. They're going to say hello, and it's going to be Valens that finds the kill there. But first of the round goes to Finesse, bringing down Automatic, and then Flowsick playing an angle that we've seen players actually there a lot in this matchup.
That was great. FNS having to peek too wide on that, and Flowsick just taking his head off really quickly. Now, an issue for them is when they've had to go A, or when Nihilum have opted to split A, the frags that come from highway. We saw Automatic with that grade 3 frag, obviously in vain, but still opened up the site because he was getting shots on the side of the head by coming up highway. So not favoring that mid-aggression this time are Nihilum, and we'll see if that'll cost them. A lot of pressure on Cutler to get a frag. A quick one with the FAMAS is going to maybe secure this round. He's going to look for a second. He's going to run it right into the off of Professor Chaos. Good patience from him. And Sanks gets a second. 10 seconds left on the round. 1v2, Peter's got to go up against 2 really hurt players. Will he be able to do it?
And I think they've planned it for A main again. This time Chaos into A main. Sanks is going to stick around towards the site. Looks like he's up behind Quad, and a fresh smoke going to go down. That'll sort of funnel Peter in between the forklift and the site. He's going to go up on the box. Not seeing anything, though. Molly the bomb, too. Perfect, but good jumps there.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. Sanks will find the headshot. Surviving, though, only on 4 HP, and that's another round here for Nihilum. I believe 5 now on T side.
Yeah, great awareness from so was that Sanks there or was that automatic?
Sanks.
Sanks, great awareness from Sanks there at the back of the site. He threw the molly, exposed where he was, but the best way to kill someone back there is to jump over onto the box because it doesn't matter where they run around from, they'll be able to get the kill. Once he heard the running, he realized that Peter was going to play that clutch in the best way possible and looked right up. So good for him paying attention to his down there in that situation.
Now, Nihilum being very, very careful, and CLG, they were stacking up B. It did not work out as Valens was just so far back, almost still in his spawn, just waiting. Professor Chaos with a nice op shot there, shutting down one of the rotators coming back through middle. That'll keep Peter pinned down a little bit in Z. Bomb to be planted now in A, and yeah, CLG all in that middle connector, just looking for some exits.
Yeah. And looking at the score run through here, we've got Nihilum clearly winning this half. Actually, the only rounds that CLG have won were on the back of defuses, so that means that Nihilum are always putting a good amount of pressure on Tarek, coming out with a kill. Automatic only gets 1. They don't want to drop too many guns, but killing players here might be worth a kill bonus, and Automatic get glocked.
Yes, they do, and now the gap is within 4. So let's see if Nihilum can do what Elevate couldn't quite do. I believe, what was 16-12 on that one? Oh, looks like we are going to have maybe some keyboard trouble there.
Yeah, if CLG are in their own heads right now, it's going to be because, well, once again, the T side is just so strong. I don't know what these computers have been eating, but the advantage for the T side is just unreal. And finally, Professor Chaos getting up to those 30 frags on this game is actually starting to pay dividends, I think, as his team along is coming up pretty close with the round score. Now, overall, there is some good performances to look at. Tater at the top with 25 frags.
Is that his new name?
People are making fun of me for saying that.
Tater?
Yeah.
We're hungry, guys. Give us a break. Tater tots. Tater tots are good. All right, Tarek, yeah, with 25. Professor Chaos with 30. Should point out that is 6 times more kills than Valens has. Like, wow. That's unreal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and man, again, a lot of those kills were in vain. But if they resulted in rounds where CLG weren't able to buy things that they wanted, then that could be, a good consolation prize if it means that Nihilum are able to stage some sort of a comeback here and even up the round score. So, so far looking really good in this half. I'm thoroughly impressed by Nihilum's performance. I mean, the underdog no matter what. And proving that they're here to play. And again, this is CLG's map pick. So they were looking, when Peter comes to me and he says we're winning this 2-0, what I picture in his head is him saying this is going to be 16-5 both maps. We're winning all the pistols. There's going to be no chance that looks like Nihilum's going to beat us. And even though they are managing to keep a lead throughout the entire game, Nihilum have definitely come very close. I mean, they have knocked on that door of taking a round lead at some points.
Yeah, CLG, they have actually chained, although it was the pistol round and just the next one surviving the eco, they were able to get 2 CT rounds in a row, something Nihilum couldn't do. Nihilum got 4 in that first half, so it'll have to be 5 CT rounds for CLG if they're going to want to take map 1 here.
Yeah.
And for some of you tuning in, obviously we will see map 2. It has to happen. That will be Inferno, and that was Nihilum's pick.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be very interesting. Haven't got to see that map, so.
Well, yeah, we haven't. It's been only Cash and Dust 2, and then the RNG gods, the Dust 2. They're looking over Dust 2 because that was the randomed map. Mm-hmm. So might see Dust 2 again here at the CEVO Season 6 LAN. And there's a shot at Professor Chaos. I was talking to them a little bit, and I saw his mouse pad. It's tiny.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you play on this? And he's so good.
It's a tiny hard pad.
10 years old, he's had the same mouse pad for a decade.
Yeah.
It is battle scarred.
There was I don't know if you know Statutory Ape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had this like membrane keyboard that's like really busted up. You have to like readjust it every round. And I was at a LAN ETS like 2 years ago, and he had this keyboard, and I came back 2 years later, he had the exact same keyboard. And he's sponsored and everything. It's amazing.
He needed to win a tournament so he could get some money to buy a new one. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, but it looks like one of the players having issues, guys. So, of course, you're watching the CEVO Season 6 LAN Finals live from the MLG Arena. I'm Helium, with me Launders, and we'll be here. We'll be back in just a minute after this quick commercial break. Stay tuned to MLG.tv.